Well, I first went into college to become a music teacher and finished that degree in 1970, and had given some thought to music therapy before that, but then I met my husband and decided I didn't want to transfer 3 hours away, which was the only place I could have gotten my training at that point. So I got married and had children and decided there was more to what I wanted to do with music, so completed my music therapy equivalency degree in 1986, and I've been actively working in the field since then, but just retired in June. But couldn't give it all up because I love working with those little ones. I work with young children and their families. So I have a few private practice groups I still do because I couldn't stand not to see those smiling faces respond to music. So I think the smiles on the faces and when little children all of a sudden will stop crying and start attending to music, when children who can't move are bouncing and trying to clap and acting just like normal children and just being kids, even though they have incredible difficult lives because of physical disabilities or because of limitations of what the environment has provided to them. Through music, they have been absolutely able to just enjoy what they do.
I became a music therapist by accident. I did not know what I wanted to study in college, and I had a piano teacher. In 1979, found a little tiny article in the newspaper about music therapy. And back then, people didn't really know the terms music and therapy went together, but I liked the idea of it. Went off to college not realizing that I had to audition to get into the College of Music, and I had to audition on the spot without preparing, and my skills were good enough to get in, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know if I can pick one situation. I have several, and what I tell people, I become more and more passionate about music therapy with each passing year that I'm practicing, because there is not one day that goes by when I am treating with music therapy that a mini miracle doesn't occur. And I have so many of those stories that people sometimes think that I'm just making up all these wonderful stories. They come into my therapy room in my classrooms. It's quite magical, and I can guarantee anyone coming to watch a music therapy session by myself or any one of my music therapy colleagues, something miraculous is going to happen in there. So I think that is pretty much so amazing to me, that after this many years I'm still experiencing that each day when I walk into my job. I've watched children take their very first steps. While I was supporting them with music, I've watched children speak their first words. I've watched children who are non-responsive and non-speaking start acting lifeless and become totally animated and interactive. That to me is beyond words.
When I was a senior in high school, I had a new band director at my high school, and so he decided to audition all the seniors individually, and he heard me play. My major instrument is flute, and he heard me play, and he said, "Oh, you're very talented, etc. What do you want to do when you grow up," basically. And so at that point I knew I wanted to do some sort of service profession, but this was in 1969 and I had not heard of music therapy. And so I said, "Oh, special education, social work, physical therapy," I mentioned, and he said, "Why don't you become a music therapist?" So he gave me a little bit more details about that, and then I went home and told my mother, and she said, "Oh, well, they have music therapy at the Cleveland Music School Settlement," which I used to take flute. That's a community music school in Cleveland, which is actually where I work now. But I used to take flute and piano and theory lessons there from like 5th to 10th grade or whatever. And so she used to sit outside the room and wait for me and read the catalog. So that's how she knew that there was music therapy there. The music therapy program there started in 1966. So I called and I went to observe, and then I was hooked. And I observed Louise Steele, who is one of the pioneers in music therapy, and she was the first director of music therapy at the Music Settlement, and I'm the second. And I worked there. I ended up going to work there 21 years ago after other jobs. But it was the high school band director who started me on this path. That's a really hard question because I think there are a lot of rewarding things. I think to see them progress, and it really makes a difference in their lives. They might be able to interact better with each other or have positive interactions with their families. They might be able to communicate better. And also some of the kids that I work with are very talented musically, so that's very exciting. And a lot of times the music is the thing that connects them. If they don't work with me in an individual session, they might be a partner or a small group, then seeing them be able to connect through the music, that's very rewarding.